Hi everybody, this is the floor video for quarantine gymnasts at ETC Gymnastics Compulsories. Before we get started, I'd like you to know that throughout the video I'm going to ask you to pause the video after I explain the exercise so that you can do it and we don't have just empty space in our video. So make sure you're ready to pause the video. The first thing we're going to do is work on our flats. So you're going to do this 3 times for 100 ETC. You count, or for 100, count as fast as you can. So you'll get in the position and then you'll count to 100 as fast as you can, making sure you say every number. What you're going to do is start in a flat on your belly. So you're going to make sure that your armpits are pressing down, your hands are reaching as far as they can reach, and your hips are flat so the tops of your feet pop off the floor. You're going to hold this, squeezing every muscle, ribs pulling in, hips pressing flat for 100 count as fast as you can. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and do it 3 times. All right, now that you've done flat on your belly, now it's time for flat on your back. So you're going to lay down on your back, press your heels down into the floor, knees nice and straight, ribs pulling in, and pull your arms back as hard as you can with your head neutral, so look straight up at the ceiling. This exercise is really hard for me because I have really inflexible shoulders. But if you're really flexible or appropriately flexible, you'll be able to get your arms all the way flat on the floor with your ribs in. I'm trying my hardest, but I can't quite get them there, so I'm just going to hold it like this. 3 times for 100 count as fast as you can. Go ahead and pause the video and do flat on your back. The next flat exercise we're going to do is a flat against a wall. I have a door that I'm going to do my flat against. So what you're going to do is kick up to your handstand, walk your hands close to the wall, press your armpits in, your hips flat, and your ribs in with your chin on the wall. Chin, hips, and armpits pressing to the wall. And that one, you're only going to count to 50 because we want to make sure that you do it right the whole entire time. So 50 as fast as you can, 3 times. Go ahead and pause the video. Make sure you're concentrating on flat hips to the wall, armpits to the wall, and ribs in. The next thing we're going to work on is our cartwheels and our round-offs. So the first thing I want you to do is start in a mountain climb position. Make sure that both knees are bent at 90 degrees. That means like a right angle like that. Round your back and make sure your arms are squeezing your head. Don't just have them near your ears. Squeeze your head. And you're going to do 10 cartwheels where you start in this mountain climb position and then land in a loading position like this. So your back is really nice and round, your hands are pulling down to the floor, your bottom is squeezing, and you're looking where your hands just came from. There are a few things besides the beginning and ending position you need to remember. One is that you need to have your hands like cartwheel hands, so your second hand is turned in to face your first hand. The second thing you need to remember is that the cartwheel should be long and that you should be having perfect form when you do your cartwheel. So I want you to do 10 cartwheels where you start in a mountain climb, arms covering your ears, squeezing your head, ending in a loading shape with your bottom squeezed, your back nice and round right here. Cartwheel hands, 10 times. Go ahead and pause the video and do your 10 cartwheels. The next exercise we're going to do is for your back handsprings. You're going to need a bed. If you don't have a bed, you're going to have to do this in slow motion and not actually jump backwards. But if you do have a bed, then this is a perfect place to do it. What you're going to do is get in your loading position that you just practiced from your cartwheel. You're going to look where your feet are, and you're going to jump backwards where your arms are sliding up your body and landing on your back on the bed. Now, I don't want to land on my cat, so I got to move him first. So you're going to start in the loading shape, jump, and squeeze. When you jump, make sure that your knees are all the way straight and that your head is looking down for as long as possible. When you can't see your feet anymore, then you can look for the ceiling. So down here, and jump, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as hard as you can. You're going to do 10 jump backs for your back handspring. It's really important that you're focusing on having perfect form when you jump backwards. Next, we're going to do some exercise for your leaps. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our arms out to the side and we're gonna kick our leg up in the front 10 times. I'm gonna do this with you. You don't need to pause the video because it'll take too long if we have to stop every time. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you're gonna take your back leg that's in your leap and do the same thing. Make sure you are lifting from your hamstring right here, not from your heel. If you lift from your heel, you'll end up with a bent back leg. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, you're gonna find something that you can balance your leg on, whether that's kind of a lower bed or your couch or something like that. You're gonna put your foot up on the object and then you're gonna kick your back leg up 10 times. This I am gonna pause the video for because I want you really concentrating and going at your own pace to make sure you're lifting your leg nice and straight in the back. Arms out to the side, chest up nice and high. Kick your leg up in the back 10 times. Next, we're gonna work on straddle jumps. Now I know the level 3s don't have straddle jumps in their routine, but it's always good to work for the future. The first thing we're gonna do is practice kicking our legs where they go. So we're gonna kick our one of our legs all the way up to our ear as much as we can, 10 times, okay? Then you're gonna kick the other leg all the way up to your ear, 10 times. Then you're gonna do 10 straddle jumps as big as you can. Now, I don't have a lot of room facing this direction. I'm a little afraid I'm gonna kick something. So make sure you're in a place where you have lots of space. It's really important that you try to keep your knees to the ceiling and that you're jumping as hard as you can to the very top so you can get a nice big straddle. So 10 times kicks like this on each side and then 10 big straddle jumps. Now, if you're a level 3, it might be a good idea for you to do some split jumps as well. So you can do the same thing, 10 kicks in the front like we did for leaps, and then 10 big split jumps. Next, we're gonna work on turns. So for our turns, you're gonna start with your arms in the prep position, and then you're going to make sure your arm goes out to the side and then pull straight up in your crown. Remember, when you're making your crown, you should be pulling as tall as you can be with your chin nice and tall too. So we're gonna do 10 times where you do the turn prep, out, up, and hold, 10 times. And then if you have a full turn in your routine, do 10 full turns. And if you have a half turn in your routine, do 10 half turns. Make sure you're starting and finishing each turn the correct way. Arms nice and tall, and then finishing, pressing your arms backwards.